today I'm like, I've been through rock bottom. I didn't hit rock bottom already.
Yeah.
And I got out that motherfucker. And can't nobody stop me from doing whatever I want to do next. I know what it's like to be uncomfortable. I know what it's like to be out of character. I know what it's like to have to come out of that dark space. Bro, can't nobody stop me now.
Here's the thing, it's just us.
All right. Episode 23, the Just Us Pod. I am Dean. To the very far left of me,
Ken.
And then
Briana.
So Briana will be sitting in this week. She has been kind enough to bless us with her presence. As y'all know, like we mentioned last time, we'll be asking some people to come sit in, be a guest for us. Fav decided that this was the one weekend that he was going to win the basketball tournament. So he's stuck with that. You know, congratulations to Fav making it to that ship.
Yeah,
not sure if they won just yet.
Don't come home second place and you missed the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have a problem.
Because you might have a seat filler.
Oh man, so how's everybody's week been?
Hot.
Yeah,
It's very hot.
still hot too.
My week started out amazing. I actually got married.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Black love.
Yes, amen.
Amen to that.
Yep.
And been on pretty much cloud nine since then, you know.
That's good.
But other than that, it's been wonderful.
Mm-hmm. How was the actual day? Was it stressful? Was it pretty easy?
I'm so
I know you are.
yeah.
But was she going through it trying to get everything done?
Nah, because all she had to do was wake up. She had to go get her hair, like, touched up or redone. The dress was already here, the shoes. So she did her makeup before she got her hair done. So it was pretty easy and seamless. I had to gather everything. I had to gather the rings. I had to go run to the mall. I had to run to her mom's house for stuff. I'm the one that had to do all the errands. She just had to get her hair done. So
that's it. That's all she had to
get
do.
a marriage certificate.
Did you have a big wedding?
No. We just did the courthouse for now,
Yeah.
and then probably we're gonna revisit like the whole big wedding in either like 2 to 5 years.
Yeah,
we talked about it. We just depend on because it's expensive. You know, it can get up to upwards of 20, 25, 30.
Yeah.
Like we went to a venue, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before the wedding. And we sat down and we talked with the people, and it got close to 30,000. Like it can be done, but if we try to do that, we got to be extremely disciplined and yeah.
That's for
And
sure.
then
But some people would
almost
like do
can't
the
really-
courthouse and just do the honeymoon,
Right,
Like and just
right.
be perfectly okay with that. I think that's what I would want to do.
That's what I should have done. Because, like you said, bro, like it costs, and we took a lot of shortcuts. Like everything was at the same venue. My brother got ordained just so he can marry us. There was no kids. It was a cap of I think we only had like 50 people total. So it was like, nah, let me cut as much cost as I could. But then even looking back on it, it's like it was a good time. But I mean, I could have had that money for something else. Yeah. So
sure.
we probably could have used that same money and been in the house a year before we got the house. So
Yeah, but that's always a memory that you got. Like you can't actually take that memory back. So right there.
Yeah.
It's a memory right there.
shit's expensive.
It is expensive memory.
And I told her, like I said, if that's what you want to do, we're going to go for it. Because, throughout, our time together, we haven't been able to celebrate, like, significant milestone, whether it's, me turning 35 or when she turned 35, the baby shower for the twins, because the twins were born, like, 3 months early, so she didn't get a real maternity shoot, didn't get the full effect of a baby shower, even though we had one. So it's just like certain milestones we didn't get to celebrate like we wanted to. So we was like, fuck it, we just gonna go all out on the wedding. But in order to do that, we might just have to, take a little time.
And that's good because y'all giving yourself the opportunity to experience that because it is important and it is valuable. So that's good.
How important to you is the last name change?
It's already done, brother.
I know, but like, how important was that to you? 'Cause let's just say if she would have been like, no, I want to keep my name, or I want to hyphen it.
She asked me, actually. She asked me what did I want to do, and I was straight up. I was like, I'd rather you, Ashley Barnes. That's
Yeah.
it, your last name doesn't have to be in there. And she kind of went back and forth with it, but well, you my husband, so that's what I'm going to do. Because, my last name, I didn't take my dad's last name either. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? So, yes and no, it might have been a big deal, but at the end of the day, like, if I wouldn't have fought her for it, I wouldn't have resented her for it if she didn't want to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's easy kill, nonchalant like that. So a lot of this shit don't bother me.
I told mine, I was like, whatever's easier.
Yeah.
Because if it's easier to keep your name, because then you have to talk about changing your ID, your insurance, making sure all that stuff was going through. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, on top of that, we work at the same company. So it's like, I'd rather just go the easy route. Yeah. If you don't want to change it, that's fine with me. Mm-hmm. I guess there was no real significance there for me.
Yeah.
Because y'all married still, regardless. Like, it's just bottom line.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to start doing tomorrow. Then we're going to go to somewhere, probably DPS tomorrow, and change that.
Does anything change when you get married? Like, does it feel different when you wake up the next day married?
So far, like I said, because it's just been since Tuesday, every day, no matter how much sleep we got, we still wake up and smile.
Yeah.
Like I said, we still in
that little
blissful stage.
Oh,
I know. Every day, it's like wake up with a smile as well.
That's good. Because she waking up a wife.
Why you waking me up so early? And so she be tired a lot. And then we got twins. They don't give a damn how much sleep you got. They're going to wake you up.
How many times have you taken your ring off since then?
I only really take it off. Let's say if one is an adjustment. I don't wear jewelry. I haven't worn a ring since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So the adjustment of wearing one is weird. I fiddle with it like this a lot. Mm-hmm. I do my hand like this.
I still do it to this day.
Yeah. Like I feel like I told her the other day, one, I have like pretty hands for a man, so so this ring just made me feel like, all right, this is too much. Yeah. And then I be doing my hand like I'm a Mississippi pimp or something. No, I don't like that.
Man.
I think I got man hands.
Only other time I really adjust it is like when I wash my hands or I shower and it get wet under my ring. That's the only other time. But I think I need to resize it too because it's a little loose, but it won't come off.
Be careful on like squeezing your hand like this.
It hurt.
Man, real bad. Trust me, real bad. All right, so this week we asked you guys, the viewers, to give us a couple topics that y'all wanted to hear us touch on. I think one of the ones that came up that kind of stood out to me was bitter baby mamas. Not because of anything personal at all.
Add that disclaimer.
Yeah. But I just think it's a topic that it's a situation that a lot of people go through. And it's never easy. You hear the stories of showing up outside your house and, never being able to successfully move on to another relationship because of that bitterness and the toll that it takes on a man. Like, I don't think people really understand the full depth of it. But, for example, if you start another relationship and that is what stops you from being able to see your kids as often as you want to, I think that's the part that people miss. People don't understand. Like, you're weaponizing my kids at that point, right? So, I mean, I guess what I really would be interested in is what is your guys' take on how do you get around it? How do you resolve that?
I would personally say I haven't dealt with a bitter baby mama, thank God, but I have dealt with a bitter baby daddy. Oh, man. But I always tell people that's in that situation in general, you take the power away. Like, the things that they're trying to use to get you to react, stop reacting. Mm-hmm. Like, because the moment they can't get their reaction, they have to leave you alone. Right. There's no one to go back and forth with you. Like, and at the end of the day, like, I don't know, you got to kind of just go with the flow with it. Like, and just don't allow them to kind of hijack the whole co-parenting thing, because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. So when it starts getting outside of that, I don't have any how I redirect it. I stopped having any conversations that were personal. Don't even ask me how my day going. Like I just literally want to straight about the kids, because when it gets too personal, I feel like that's when like the emotions get involved.
Yeah.
So now they're feeling some type of way that, oh, you're on a date. That shouldn't be your business. You know, so it's just one of those things. You got to just completely keep it very, almost treat it like business. Treat it like a business relationship. Keep it separate from your personal.
Very professional. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. I don't have any experience with it myself, but I've, seen it from like the outside looking in with other people. I know a dude, I don't want to get, too much in detail, but when he found out he got the young lady pregnant, he didn't mean to. She might have heard conversation or even just like saw text messages. I don't know the details, but she's not a looker. She's not the most attractive young lady. So he said something along the lines of that. He said something along the lines of that. And
To her?
No, to somebody else. But I said, she either overheard or saw a message.
Yeah.
And she got in her feelings, and before the baby was even born, or right after the baby was born, took the baby home to California. He didn't see the baby for years. And during that time, she said things, now the baby feels away as the baby's growing up. Even came back here to try to make it work, and still to this day, that, the respect isn't there. I don't think the respect is fully there from the child to the dad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the kid will still say certain things that's along the lines of,
the disrespect that the mother would have carried for the dad.
Right. And then on the flip side of that, like a bitter baby daddy, my wife, when I first came around, one of the kids, their dad, told her when they left or when she split up, he wasn't gonna never see the kids again.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he didn't. He didn't start showing up again until he realized I was in the picture. And like, you're not really doing nothing but hurting yourself. You know what I mean?
That's for sure.
And one of the kids was even calling me, like, very, very short amount of time, was like, my other daddy, Kendrick, or Ken, they call me Ken. And he was like, that ain't your damn daddy, I'm your daddy. I was like, whoa, brother, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You kind of made this bed, you know what I'm saying? You got to wear that, not me. So I don't really know how to navigate it. I can imagine it's very tricky. But like she said, just try to keep it professional as possible. You don't want to blur those lines.
I think that the best advice to give somebody going through it is it's too much energy to be wasted on it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're dealing with that type of situation, that type of person, it consumes so much of you that you don't realize the toll that it takes until you're out of it.
That's for sure.
When you can figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to move with this is how I'm going to move with that, and I'm not going to feed into the bullshit, things get a little bit easier for you, at least the way that you're able to deal with it. It does get in the way of dating. It does get in the way of, having a healthy relationship next, but
Nobody wants to deal with that.
yeah, because and there may never be an interaction between the two. It's just the worry of, man, she's just going to make this so much more difficult is always there. But as long as you don't feed into it, then I think that at least from when it's very one-sided, it becomes a little bit easier to deal with. The other part that people don't understand is the toll that it does take on the kids. Because now they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They don't know, because like you said, like, oh, that ain't your daddy, this is that, right? Like, imagine at a super young age hearing that, but going and seeing, like, well, this person is doing this for me.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, because, I mean, at the end of the day, at a young age, your kids see you as their superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to grow into, how they're going to feel about you the rest of their life or whatever, whether you're a piece of shit or you are a great person, whatever. They have to learn that. But at that young, you're their superhero. So if I tell my daughters, hey, never respect that man, this, and that, I expect them to be able to listen to that, right? But it just makes things so much harder on them because now, let's just say you know, you do end up marrying the person, then well now they're having a problem building a relationship with their step parent.
Yeah.
You know, so it's tricky. You know, and I think that what tends to happen is you kind of see, at least the route that I've seen is, or not personally, but you know, the experiences that people have shared with me is that the moment that they do start dating is when boom, they hit with child support.
Yeah.
Right? So is that really good reason to put somebody on child support or not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now I know you're dating, I'm gonna put you on child support. Like that's
bitter.
Yeah.
That's one of those things to where I can't control what you're doing over there, so let me hit you where I feel like it's gonna hurt you. Like that's when you realize that what someone is doing and saying, you're no longer affecting that.
Yeah.
You know, so now you're using these papers to make them have some kind of emotions, whether it's good or bad towards you. Like, I don't know, with co-parenting, I think it just always take for both parents to be very mature at the end of the day, because the thing about it is when people separate, reality is life goes on. Reality is eventually you're going to start dating. I'm going to start dating. My children's going to be around different people over there with you, and they got to meet somebody with me. Yeah. So unless we're trying to work it out, why are we doing all this bitterness? Why, like, it's so many arguments that don't have to be had when it's like just two people with a genuine goal to like just figure it out for their kids. Yeah. Like, we're just trying to get them a good life.
Right.
So when is the right time to put somebody on child support? Or is there ever a right time to put somebody on child support?
Once again, I don't have any experience with
that. Do.
But I would say, in my personal opinion, this isn't towards anybody. I don't know, what anybody else has going on in their relationships or with their kids. But if you're man or woman, because women need to be put on child support at times too.
That's for sure.
If you just ain't doing what you got to do for your kid, as far as it's pretty much monetary. If you're not doing what you got to do monetarily for your kids, then yeah, you need to,
I just filed.
It
wasn't monetary.
Somebody need to file on that person. The attorney general need to go ahead and hit you up. You know what I mean? And I know it's not all monetary either. Hell, if you don't want to get your kids sometimes, then yeah, that's another reason. Or like, I hate to say this, if you ultimately do not want to do right by your kids, it sounds bad, but just give up the rights, bro. Or women, you know what I mean? Because them kids ain't asked to be here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say for me, like I said, I used to be the one that probably would say, I wouldn't put nobody on child support. I wouldn't want to put the people in you. And I generally had that like goal in mind, maneuvering like this past relationship and trying to co-parent with this person. However, like I figured that it is best to have somebody set out the guidelines and tell them exactly what the responsibilities of him as a father is, because I felt like there was no agreeing. Like everything was what I say go, and if you don't like it, get with it. Like, and I think with co-parenting with this particular person, it came with a lot of chaos because this person was bitter, and it was one of those people that felt like since they have children with you, they can have some kind of control in your life. So me not picking up the kid, this means you're not going to have a life or whatever. And what actually pushed me to the edge to where it's like, okay, well, now I got something. I'm about to actually file, and I need something that's going to speak for me. It was one particular weekend. It was his weekend to get the girls or whatever. He picked them up maybe like 8 p.m. on Friday. On Sunday, he wanted to like drop them off at 12 p.m. And I was like, no, you like just barely had them. He was so upset that he put my tires on flat because I didn't agree to get them at 12 p.m. So when you're like throwing tantrums and you're doing things to make me do what you want me to do in this parenthood, I'm not about to argue with you. Yeah. I don't want to do all this. Okay, so
put them people in.
I want them to tell you exactly what your responsibilities are, right, because if you feel like you're doing too much, you think I owe you something. I don't want to. And with him, like when I say it was a monetary, he always tried to use the child support against me because he has an LLC. He drives trucks. So in his mind, he always had it to where I have a 1099. These people cannot take money out of my check. That's what he had in his mind. He always told me he had a lawyer in mind, everything. So I was just like, okay, so if these people, If you got it writing off that you're only paying yourself minimum wage and I get $13 back, I'm cool.
Yeah.
As long as these people are telling you exactly what your responsibilities are. I don't want you doing anything more than that. Do what they say do. I'm done trying to talk about it. Now he begged me to take him mic off.
It's crazy.
But
I
it
mean,
hasn't went through yet.
I kind of feel, again, I'm speaking
Or
from...
is there a way I could have handled it differently? Tell me.
I mean, it depends on everybody's situation. For me, I looked at child support as being easier.
Yeah.
You know, because there are guidelines that, as the parent that doesn't have custody, like, you are required to get your kids first, third, fifth weekend of the month, right? But I can imagine, again, going back to the conversation we were just having about, you know, somebody being bitter and trying to hold your kids from you. That's when that child support agreement plays in your favor, right? Well, nah, you can't tell me I can't come get my kids. Yeah. This is my time to get my kids. So that's one thing. Second, I've been on child support for, how old is Joe? 13 years now, going on 14 years. It's so much easier that child support comes straight out of my check.
Yeah.
It's a pretty penny. Don't get me wrong. I don't like looking at my check stub, seeing how much comes out. But at the same time, my kids don't want for nothing. You know, they got everything that they need. So it makes that transaction a little bit easier for me. But I can honestly say, like, there's some people that deserve it. Like Kim was saying, if you ain't gonna do for your kids, yeah, you deserve to be put on child support. Like, them kids ain't do nothing to you to say you don't owe them nothing, because you do. You owe them something. Like, and it ain't always just money. You owe them time as the parent. You owe them to, you know, you brought them into this world, you know, and you need to figure that out. I don't give a damn if it was an accident or not. Because it wasn't no accident to go in raw. It wasn't no accident to not pull out.
Right.
You know, and an accident could have been...
It's not even a bad thing. I think, like, a lot of times, initially when men hear child support, it hit the ego. Mm-hmm. It sounds like, oh, you're calling me a bad dad. Oh, you're calling me... And it's almost like, I don't know, it's just, from what I've experienced since I placed this person on child support, I feel like it's hitting more so the ego. Like, he's a great dad. He's a great provider. And that's why I question, like, I feel like it's for the guidelines, but I don't kind of trust this person enough to actually do it outside of someone having my back in some kind of way to say, hey, this is the fair way, this is, but, like, I don't know. Is it an ego thing? Like, does it hurt when you first get on? Or, like, is it an
it definitely does. It definitely does, because you start to realize, all right, so for me, I was at the same job I was when I had the kids. I was still there when I was placed on child support. So seeing the reduction of my paycheck was like, whoa. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was, and just thinking about the amount back then compared to the amount today, like, I was hurt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it was ever an ego thing for me. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and talk like I ain't never let my ego get in my way before, but that specific thing, I understood what it was. Okay. I understood that my kids, you know, this, that, and whatever. I always looked at it as the perception that I had of my dad and what I felt like he could have done differently. I wanted to make sure that I would never do the same type of thing, right? So going into it, saying, all right, cool, if I'm going to be on child support, fuck it. It is what it is. At least I know if it's coming out my check, I'll never be able to give the excuse of, man, I really ain't got it this week. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I feel like, for me at least, I never really let it get in my way like that. But I can see, I mean, don't get me wrong, that shit hurts. I can see why a dude's ego would be hit by it.
For sure, because it feels like you're taking my money. I'm giving my money. Like, it's looked at wrong a lot of times. They feel like the mom gets their money that they work hard from, but the kids gotta take it care of, you know? And ideally, I think men, like, as soon as the first time they pay child support, you get your nails done, anything, they assume that their money.
Don't get me wrong, them thoughts go through your head no matter what. Because it was one point in time where you couldn't tell me I wasn't paying for that house that they staying in. But, I was very immature in it, too.
It's not my business. Once it come out my check, it's no longer my business.
Yeah, I can imagine it hurts because I remember when I was younger, my uncle came home one day and he was just like, he was distraught, bro. And my uncle, when I was young, my uncle
Ain't no emotion.
He don't show no emotions. Like,
other than being mad.
One of the toughest dudes I knew at the time. So for me to see him come home and like he's upset, like visibly upset, like crying and like frustrated. And I was like, damn, like I don't never want to go through that. You know what I mean? But also, I think what also played a factor in it, he was paying it for multiple kids from multiple women. So, it's kind of hard to get ahead when you got upwards of, I want to say, 2 or 3. And he was paying for like 4 or 5 around that time. Yeah. So, so I can see, and some of them was like back child support.
That's where I think it really hits because, I mean, it's based off of percentage. Mm-hmm. So it's like the amount's going to be, it'll be a little bit higher depending on how the breakdown is, but the amount's going to be the amount, whether it's 1 or 5. It's just how it's split up between everybody is going to be a little bit different sometimes.
Yeah.
But that back pay, that was the one thing when we were in there, because the tough part is if you're not married, let's say y'all was together for 10 years. The kid is 10. If y'all weren't married for 10 years, she can go and say, hey, I want back pay for all 10 years. That's crazy to me.
That is
ridiculous. That's where it's like, when she said, no, I don't need back pay, I was like, oh.
Not so bad after all.
Yeah, sure.
But I seen on Instagram, Ari, her and Moneybag Yo's together, and she said like right now she doesn't want to legally get married because of that reason. Like Moneybag has like exes that have child support on him, so she assumes that once she gets married, that child support is her responsibility as well.
That is a very interesting point, because how do I go about talking about this? Go ahead. Wow.
Process that. That's a very valid point that you made, and like that she said that, because even though, of course, they make more money than the average person, right?
Yeah.
But still, in all, once they get married, she's still gonna take on that burden of the child support, because all of his money isn't coming into their household; it's going to those kids. So I doubt Moneybag Yo is ever going to, fall on harsh times right now. But given the time that if he does, she has to step up, and that's going to take money from her, like personally, because I'm sure women they want their own personal money, regardless of the fact if they're in a relationship or married or not. They still want their own. That's just how they are, and they don't want to spend their own either. You know what I mean? So if he has to, fall short in any area, she's going to have to step up, and she probably is not ready for that.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to child support, I can understand like a wife coming into a situation not wanting to give her a check. But I don't believe that, like, is that a thing? Do they really just be taking? No. Because I think there's an actual form that a wife can file. Like, if the husband already had like those responsibilities prior to the marriage, then she can file like an innocent spouse form. And, like, it won't touch any of her property, any of her actual, that's almost his. I've
never heard of that. I'm sure they got to be protected somehow, though.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's called an innocent spouse.
All right, let's take a step back, because we talking about people that are making a lot of money, right?
Yeah. Right.
So let's talk about let's talk about the regular people for a little bit. I think where the pockets of your spouse will become affected are if you are behind on your child support, right? Because that's where they'll garnish the income tax, basically. And if y'all are filing married, they'll garnish it. So that's, I'd say, the regular people, everyday people are probably more affected that way. But I mean, it's a really good conversation to have, because when you go into marriage, you take on everything that your partner
Yeah.
has, their debt, their, emotional trauma that you'll have to deal with. Like, I mean, like you said earlier, when you're talking about marriage, and I've said this before too, it's a business. So you
Very
have to
much
take
so.
everything on from your partner. My wife just didn't know what she was getting into.
It's a girl,
I,
like a grown
I owe some money,
though.
but
It's a grown
nah,
process.
yeah, it's I think I told you this. I was like, man, everything comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in so many words, like everything comes with it. It's a tough thing to navigate through, but you figure it out.
Life is a tough thing to navigate through. So when you got somebody that's a partner to you that's willing to navigate through it with you, that's a blessing to have.
Yeah.
That means you don't have to figure it out no more. You don't have to like still be in this world searching for somebody to nurture you or
by
love on
yourself.
you. You got that part figured out.
But imagine like these poly couples, right? Where you have multiple partners. Listen to how hard it is talking about dealing with one partner's trauma, emotion, stuff like that. How do you think anybody can go through and having multiple partners? Like, what do y'all think about that?
I don't know. I personally, I couldn't do it because I feel like, for one, I'm a woman. I'm an emotional creature. Why are you hugging that lady? I need a
But who
hug
said
right
it has to
now.
be another lady?
You know,
Why?
don't
I
want
mean,
another man. That's why. It's one of those things. And like with me, I'm very tunnel vision. So even if it's like whenever I'm like locked in with someone, I genuinely don't see no one else. Like, so I couldn't even like give myself to a man in that way. So it'll be just a weird thing. And as far as bringing another woman in, I'm a girl, but I could not be around another woman every day. I don't know why. I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. And I don't want another woman hugging my man. I'm a jellyfish. No, I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it.
That makes a lot of sense because I couldn't do it. Like, one, my wife ain't going for it. I never even like try to entertain the thought of it.
Lord, it hurt my feelings thinking about it. Why you got your leg on him?
Yeah.
Like,
But
why
not
are y'all
even,
feet touching?
why are y'all playing footsies in front of me? Like,
but
and
not
I'm
even that. Just
okay.
like before I was even in a relationship, just dealing with multiple personalities from
Yeah.
different women, it's exhausting, bro.
Yes.
Like, and then like having to try to date more than one woman at a
Imagine
time.
they both got attitude.
Yeah, it's women are weird, bro, and then the universe is weird. Like they cycle sync
I
up.
literally
Now
was
you,
about to say that.
You can't
Literally.
talk to nobody but the dog. This is you and the dog. That's the only other male in the house.
Shit, not mine.
Oh yeah, you got a female dog, so you can't even talk to that bitch. But so you can't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So no, I couldn't do it. I don't see how they do it. I mean, the people that do it, they make it seem like it is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm
But do you
sure
think
it's
it can
an
work?
experience.
You know how we say like marriage is business. Do you think that like it can be a poly relationship can be something that lasts as long as a typical 2-person marriage?
I
Yeah,
feel-
like I feel like everybody has to be like even keel. Like no one person can be like too up all the time, or one
Yeah.
person can be too low because it's gonna drain. You know what I mean? And then it's gonna be. Because think about it, like if it's two women, let's say Cheryl got
Cheryl.
Cheryl is depressed.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Duke and Adrian over here, they just like Adrian gonna pull Duke to the side, man. Cheryl, she fucking this bitch gotta go. You know what I mean? She killing me. I can't do this no
Yeah.
more. And now it's like she an outcast. So no, but I think it's a wonderful like business move because it's 3 people. You probably let's say they all make $75,000 a year. Mm-hmm. That's good.
It's good.
It's like $225. You know what I'm saying? That's good.
On paper, it's good.
Yeah,
it
it's great
sounds
on
so
paper.
simple.
And
like,
then I imagine sex could be amazing as well too.
look,
That's
this is what I
probably
want
the
to
I don't know.
exciting part.
Like,
It could be. It could be. Who knows?
no, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from it. I just don't know if I can perform at my best ability with 2.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because like it's just.
This is where we get childish.
And on TikTok, there was this couple that goes live, and they were a poly couple, and like the guy, he ends up bringing up another woman into a relationship, but the other woman that he brought in, like she doesn't like women. So
This don't sound
exactly.
like TikTok.
So
This sounds like Pornhub.
it it crumbled in front of the camera eventually. But I couldn't understand it. Like, how is it a poly relationship when
You
the
don't
new
like
girl
her.
don't even like her?
Yeah,
Like, what am I supposed to do with
She
her?
just wanted a piece of him.
Exactly, and he wanted his girl to be kind of cool with it because we're in a poly relationship. This is for
You ain't
business.
fool nobody with that, buddy. We
Yeah.
called
I
you
don't-
really quick.
They pushed the business.
I don't feel like that was a poly relationship then.
Yeah, it
Because
wasn't.
it I hate saying the word, but thruple
And they called him
is
king.
is like one of the dumbest
A throuple.
terms I've heard.
It's
But
some millennial shit.
it makes sense because that means that all three of you are into each other, right? From what you're describing, that sounded more like it's just an open relationship and they're doing it in front of everybody.
Or he just having his way and he having his woman agree
Yeah.
with it for like the business end, but
I think
he didn't get no pleasure out of that.
now
Am I-
hey, more power to you. If you can do it, go for it. You know, like I ain't never
Power
gonna
to
tell
you,
anybody you're wrong for anything. What you're into, none of that. Go for it. I just feel like it'd be too much energy. Like I'd be having to deal with my wife and my 2 daughters. You know what I'm saying? And my female dog. Me and my stepson be there like, God damn.
Landmines.
But
Not so bad.
so it's like having to deal with 2. I don't know if I could do it. Hey, hats off to any man that can do it. But on the opposite end of that, to me, if I look at poly versus open relationship, I feel like open relationship makes a little bit more sense because it's not like hey, all right, go home. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's go,
I think it's
and you just come back home.
Structures though, because I think people push the poly more for like business and we can build something together, and the open relationship sounds more for like
Sex.
sexual.
To me, that's what
gratification.
both of them
That's
sound
it.
like. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Both of them sound
yeah.
like just straight up sex.
The other one just-
You telling me I could be in it every night and being in one and the other one licking up in it? No, my bad.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. Because you just imagine like you with this person and it's a whole nother human right here. She just reach over and just like
oh my gosh.
grab my ass or something. Like, nah, you gotta stop. Like, grab something
You know,
else.
it'd be funny, like the first time you actually bring another woman in, like having that little anxiety of like not knowing if your girl really cool with it, so you don't really you scared to really make a
or
move.
not only just that, right? You know, we've talked about men getting their ass ate before, right?
Oh my gosh.
So it's one thing to be in a room with your legs up, like you're getting your diaper changed, and it's just you and one chick. But
Yeah.
imagine having another one looking at you like you a goddamn fool. Like, look at this motherfucker with his legs cocked up like he a
And they
goddamn
gonna
baby.
talk about you later.
Yeah.
It's only right. You
Nah,
got to-
it's too much anxiety, man.
like, girl, he bent over better than me.
What if she pull the phone out while your legs up?
That's
Bitch, put that down. What are you
Oh
doing?
man.
Be somebody you can trust.
It's supposed to be a safe space.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
Because
couldn't
I
do
mean,
none
when
of
you're
that,
in a
bro.
relationship like that, like the lights don't go off every night. You know what I'm saying? Like when you getting busy, the lights gonna stay on every now and then.
Gosh.
You're not finna see them angles of me, man.
2 people seeing a man.
No, not
2
every
people
day.
gotta keep that secret.
I know I got a birthmark there. Chill out.
Hey, what if while you on your back, bro, she kind of spin you like a turtle?
Bro,
to the
I be
other
mad.
woman. Like, here, your
Your
turn.
turn. Yeah.
Like one of them turning dishes on the table, passing. Ah man,
Oh my gosh.
fuck out of here.
It's terrible.
You gotta take it.
No, I'm gonna take it. All right, I'm gonna take my dick and
Can
I'm
you
gonna
be
go
a
in the room.
man to like 2 women? Like they can jump you. Can you still kind of? How does 2 women to like submit to a man in that way though? Like, can you have like that kind of much authority?
Man, look, I feel I have a very interesting take on like being submissive. If you don't have power, the other person will never be submissive.
Yeah.
To me. And so I can imagine, like you were saying, like the 3 different incomes is one thing, but if I make 100,000 on my own and y'all make 80 and 80, well, all y'all got to do is sit there and be like, oh, well, shit, we don't need you. So at that point, yeah, you as, let's say, the individual that makes a little bit more, like, yeah, bro, you gonna have to submit every now and then. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
But
To that.
at the same time, let's use me and my wife as an example. Like, let's take the third person out. Shit gives me anxiety just thinking about it. But there's times where it's like, even my wife will say it, like, nah, you got to be the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make the call. I'm going to shut up. Or to me, there's different things of being submissive that play, into individuals. My wife, for example, sees being submissive as if I have company, she's going to, hey, if it's me and let's say 2 of my partners that come over there, she ain't going to be in the room. She's going to go mind her business. But at the same time, does that mean that I'm being submissive when she has her friends over and I'm like, all right, y'all going to be outside? All right, I'm going to be over here. And if they come in the kitchen and I'm in the kitchen, all right, I'm going to move out. Like, it's their room at that point. So I don't, when I think of submissive, these are the types of things that I think of, but I don't really see it as, I don't like the term submissive is my problem, because it kind of feels like you're just a cuck in the end. Like I don't like the term submissive, but that's my take on it. I don't know how y'all feel about being submissive, having to submit and things like this.
It's something I kind of.
I agree with you. Like I don't like the term submissive either, because in actuality, to me, being submissive is also kind of like it's having respect for your partner. Because again, take me and my wife for example. We're pretty much very evenly yoked, right? From as far as backgrounds to how much money we make, she makes a little bit more, and I'm okay with that. But we have ideas. She'll bring an idea to me, and as far as getting it done, or whatever the idea is, she has more experience in that. She knows more, so I'll be submissive, and I'll be like, okay, I have to listen to see how it goes, and then from there on out, as I learn it, then I'll take the lead in that case. But like you said, as they ask for us to be the man in the situation because we're men, but we look at it as like we don't have a lot of time and don't have a lot of margin for error. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we often want to do things the right way the first time. So nobody wants to be wrong. So taking that lead is one thing, but when you take that lead, you have to also take in the accountability that you may be wrong as well. So being submissive is one thing. Like I just don't like the term. It just doesn't. It doesn't sit right with me, because quote unquote being submissive, you have to take get behind somebody else, let them take the lead. Yeah. And like you said, it's like a trade off at times.
Yeah. I mean, if that, let's say if that's everybody's definition, then I'm submissive, bro.
Right.
Because I say this all the time. I tell my wife this all the time. I'm the boss at work. Yeah. I don't want to come home and be the boss. You got it. And you tell me what needs to be done, and we'll do it. You want to move the table? Cool. I'll move the fucking table. You want the grass to look like this? I'll fucking do that. You want that shit pressure wash out there? Cool. No problem. I'll do all that. Yeah. Like, I can't be the boss everywhere, bro. I'm more than okay with taking a backseat.
I kind of struggle with I guess the term submissive, because I don't necessarily know what it looked like. That's why I wanted to know, what does submissive look like to a man? Because a lot of times when I hear or see a man speaking of a woman being submissive, a lot of times it's just a man wanting the woman to kind of how high, so submissive to what? To the point to where you can control, or what does it look like? Because
I mean, we may not be the right people for that, because I think those same people that harp and preach on somebody being submissive or not are also the dudes that's really high on being an alpha male or alpha female, and all that shit is the same to me. It's stupid.
A lot of it is stupid.
Yeah, I figure you just now. Don't get me wrong. There are some cases if you get with a person and you're very headstrong, and this person lacks a backbone or the confidence to do said things, then yes, that person should be submissive, or you should be the alpha in that situation, because obviously they don't know or they don't have the confidence to do certain things. But if you have somebody that, like I said, that is evenly yoked with you, then it had it's an exchange of power. Like you said, then it's one. You don't want to be the man or be the boss at work and at home. I'm sure that's draining, because you've done enough thinking for 25 to 40 other motherfuckers at work, and then you come home and have to think for yourself, kids, dog, wife. You know what I'm saying? It could be draining. So you have to be able to turn your brain off sometimes.
Yeah.
So we just might not be the right people to talk about submissiveness, if that's the word. It just the whole concept is just stupid to me.
See, I question that because, like I said, I have 8 brothers. So like. Yeah, so I like I hear a lot of times.
So think twice, fellas. Think twice before you shoot
8
shot.
brothers. So a lot of times, like I struggle with that in the sense of like I don't know. I haven't too much seen a woman just being soft or like girls. Just I'm navigating through this life, kind of trying to figure out because I've heard a man say before, "Oh, why you act like a man?" But like I sometimes I'll talk to them how I talk to my brothers. Like I'll go back and forth sometimes and. Like, but now that I'm growing older and like wiser, like I know now that like, all right, bro, you can be quiet. You don't have to kind of, because I get too comfortable personally in a relationship to where it do become like a sibling thing to where I'm a goofball. So you might think like sometimes you dating your sister and it's just one of those things like, I don't know what it look like. I don't know how to, when they say be a girl, like what am I doing that's,
Don't call me bro.
Like, and I do bro people. I really do bro people.
I don't think
Even
that's
in a relationship, I'm like, bro, look at this.
Yeah.
Like, I am like that.
I don't think that's a bad thing, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think those often make the best relationships.
Yeah,
when
like
you feel like you have, a sibling in your partner because y'all argue back and forth, y'all joke like siblings, but at the same time, you still love that person like they're meant to be loved, like they're your partner. So I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of finding that person that really understands you. Now, what I will say is, you don't have to like bite your tongue in situations. I think it's just a matter of how you say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But so you're the only girl?
Oh, I was the only girl up until 13. I have a sister. She's almost 17 now. Yeah. But now the 8 brothers, I have 5 brothers on my mom's side, and then I got 3 brothers on my dad's side.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's around a lot of dudes.
On my dad's side. I did Ancestry DNA. Shout out to Ancestry DNA. Met my daddy.
I mean, it's interesting because even like for me, like although I grew up with no sisters, right? I mean, I have some girl cousins and stuff, but like in a household of dudes like that, or just being around dudes, like I still feel like I grew up kind of looking at my mom's expectation of a man to understand like how I needed to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I'm trying to think who I know that grew up like around dudes like that, because I want to try to figure out like, does that make them aggressive in everything?
Yeah, like I don't know. When I look up, there's usually no girly women in my family. Like I don't, even when I see like certain women, like there's a different energy like around a woman that's just genuinely feminine. And like I might dress like a girl and real nice or whatever, but it's a certain energy that certain women carry.
Yeah, I mean, because
and the women in my family, like I'm sweet and I'm all those things, but the women in my family, they are very, I don't know, they're very rah or like and at the same time, I've never seen like a man like just. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I've never seen a man and a woman interacting. So it's just hard to kind of figure out the dynamics and maneuver through it. Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right?
You grabbing them by the hey, let me talk to you, man.
Yeah, come here quick. Like, I ain't doing all of that now. But it's just one of those things to where it's like, I didn't have that picture growing up. I didn't see like the mom and the dad, so it's just like I'm trying to figure it out now. Like, how do I submit without feeling like I'm just completely like shutting off my whole mind or like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm the sweetest person in a relationship up until the point that I have to guard myself. And then you become more of a brother to me. I can be upset with you and forgive you and we might laugh about it later, but I might not be as, hey baby, or I can't explain it. Like it's just.
I think what you're saying is you kind of guard it, but at the same time, you're looking for somebody that can make you feel comfortable, to let that guard down, somebody that can make you feel vulnerable. So once that happens, then, you know, it becomes like an understanding of, once he understands who you are and you understand who he is, then you'll be more comfortable. You'll let your guards down, and I'm sure you won't feel that way because you're saying you're a sweet person. And I feel like, I just met you today. I don't think, you lying about it. But so
You never know.
You right, you never know. But I'm not getting like, like you're a psycho. They
gonna put down in the comments, she hurt me.
So
that's funny. But I mean, this also goes into something that was brought to our attention too, right? Where, how do men feel when women hit on them aggressively? And I'd also be interested to understand from the woman's perspective, where do you set that boundary of, okay, I'm being a little bit too aggressive, considering that you grew up like you're saying, right, with this type of background? Like, what do you think is aggressive versus not aggressive?
What I think is aggressive
From a woman hitting on a man, let's say.
well, woman hitting, like, first of all, you got to always read the room. Because you can always tell by somebody's energy and their body language whether or not they're feeling you. So I would never I don't know. I have done something a little aggressive, like going up to a man. The most aggressive thing that I've done was go up and I done went up and I done went up and I done grab a beard, beard, you're handsome, and I walk away. Because after I done did that, if you didn't catch that, we ain't got nothing to catch.
That's still very soft though.
Yeah, but it was just still I went up to somebody. I wouldn't want a man coming up to me grabbing my face. So I said that was a little more aggressive. So, but I don't know. I think men are more so of the aggressive approachers.
By nature.
I don't know.
Men are aggressive, and even the things that
Well, no, I'm not saying that they're not.
But the things that men can say sometimes. Somebody wrote me in my inbox today, and I'm pretty sure he thought it was a compliment, but I was just like, I posted it. I don't even want to say it. I posted it.
Now.
I told you if you don't want to say it.
Okay, so I posted a picture, and it's just a regular picture of me posing. He writes me in my inbox, I like ass and titties. I was like, I just pushed the laugh button because what you want me to say to that? And I know this person personally, and I have to see them. So then after I responded to that, I said, since after I responded with the laughing emoji, they was like, what's funny? I meant it.
Well, what you want me to say?
What you want me to say? I said, okay, many men do. Now you're just one of them. But it was just one of those things, people, I don't know, men are aggressive. They will be disrespectful in their approach more so, I guess. But it's a fine line because it's a double standard. Men can't do everything that a woman would do.
But at the same time, women can do things that men can't do.
Right.
Let's use the YK Osiris example, right? If a woman comes up to a man and kisses him that aggressively, nobody says anything.
Oh, I don't know. Because walking to my brother and you kiss my brother like that and my brother done pushed you off of him, I'm going to say something.
That's because it's personal.
Yeah.
That's because it's
personal.
Yeah,
we talking about
if
I'm just seeing
reverse them two people in the situation.
And a woman is just walking up to him and she's and he pushing her off. You know what? Men don't, we don't rush to the defense of men because ideally we think that men can handle themselves. And with the woman, people was kind of looking for somebody to save her. Why y'all ain't say nothing? She's a woman. And it's just, I don't know.
I think in that situation with those individuals, a lot of people were trying to make an excuse for him because of who she is.
Yeah.
Because she has an OnlyFans and she posts.
Does she?
Yeah, she has.
It makes no difference.
I don't know.
To me.
But we can't find it on Reddit.
You can find it on Twitter. You can just look it up on Twitter. She giving some workout. Yeah, she wild. Anyway, because she does those things, they feel like, she has an OnlyFans, she's a sex worker. That don't mean nothing, she should be okay. No, regardless of the fact if she's a sex worker or a prostitute or not, nobody wants to be taken advantage of like that.
That's for sure.
That is very much a form of sexual assault.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean?
And everybody has the right to set a boundary.
Right.
That's just that. Like, no matter what kind of music she makes, no matter like how she portrays herself, she has to give you an invitation regardless. That's just bottom line.
Right.
Again, I know y'all gonna kill me for this. The guy can learn from his mistakes. I'm gonna say it like that. Do I think he's wrong? Yeah. Do I think it was super aggressive? Yeah. I don't know their history with each other. Apparently, there's no history, so it makes it even worse.
I don't think his intentions was bad.
Yeah, I think he was looking for a moment. I mean, in the end, he wanted
attention.
Exactly, and he's getting it right now.
Exactly.
It's just not the attention that he wanted. But yeah, I mean, I still feel like if had the roles been reversed, like we wouldn't even be talking about it today.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy for when women do get that aggressive. It is a little odd to me because you don't see it, But
what do you do when you see that happening? Like, do you say something? Like, how? Because people gave the people that were sitting beside her flack too. Like, why didn't the man say? In that situation, do you stay out of it? Do you get into it? Like,
from what I heard, the men that were there, they didn't know like
the extent of
their relationships. They didn't know if they knew each other or not. I also don't feel like they felt like her reaction was.
It didn't seem that the situation was threatening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they didn't react. You know what I mean? And I think that's only because she was also trying to keep it professional.
Yeah,
like they were at an event.
She played it.
She did it.
Hey,
Because
I won't take nothing away. Yeah,
did the whole event if she really wanted to, and it would have been justified. If she would have just like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Call the police, security, or whoever.
Yeah.
As far as a woman being aggressive, here in the States, I've never experienced it myself. One time, but I kind of knew the girl. I was in college. I was asleep before a party. I went to Lamar University, and if you know anything about Lamar,
Beaumont.
shout out LU, Beaumont. Them parties get crazy. Anyway, the girl, I was asleep. She came, woke me up. She gave me a charge and kissed me at the same time.
Yeah. Immediately, that was a lie.
I literally floated to my feet, and when I got outside, she was gone. And I was like, damn, that was like the most aggressive thing I've ever, But I went to Dominican Republic some years ago. It was like 5 years ago. It was a while ago, before my kids was here, my twins. And I went to the club out there. And you know how, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you ever experienced out in the club, guy wants to go bra, he brushes up on you and all of that. Inappropriate.
Yeah.
They do that out there to men.
The women do that to the men?
Yeah, they grab you and everything.
They just be walking by and they just put their whole stuff on you?
Yep, they'll grab your junk. They grab your man parts and all that.
Oh, my
gosh. Yeah, that's
They're
probably the
recruiting. They're soliciting.
Yeah, exactly.
They're soliciting.
Exactly. So, and you kind of just have to be okay with it because I'm not from out there. What I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I piss off the wrong person. I probably won't make it back home because it's still a third world country.
Trying to think if I've ever had a woman be like really aggressive with me.
I'm trying to think I've ever been just overly aggressive to a point where it's just.
I feel like there might have been a case that I can say yes to, but I also feel like I didn't have a problem with it.
That was gonna be my next point.
I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Like hey.
Ready
I
to
guess
go.
you don't feel bad coming from somebody you don't mind.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And that's another thing. I hate to say this. I'm gonna say it because this is who I am. You just can't be super aggressive if you ain't up to par.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
huh?
I don't know.
Huh?
Because what if she really good at it?
It don't matter.
You gotta break the ice first.
I'm not gonna find out. I'm very,
Me either.
very,
Me
I'm
either.
very visual.
Me either.
So if you don't meet my criteria and you trying some aggressive stuff with me,
Like, hold on,
back.
wait a minute. I'm about to call the cops.
Move, lady.
I don't know. I done had some lonely nights, man.
I don't want.
You said
Wow.
booger man.
This man say he had some lonely nights. I have too. I just had them by myself, brother.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's different. the aggressive women thing is different, you know.
Men are like
But
passively aggressive.
No, yeah, that I agree. Like men, and we've talked about this before here too. Like men can be,
terrible.
yeah, like
I mean,
it's embarrassing to
very
say
so.
like what we've seen people do before.
You ever told your homeboy to chill? She ain't feeling you. Like,
My partner's yeah, I ain't never had to deal with that.
I
Yeah.
wish.
I don't even approach women. Well, I'm married now, but before I was married, I don't even approach
Yeah.
women when I'm out. It's like
Me
one
either.
time, we went to the Galleria one time, and we was at Urban Outfitters. This woman walked in, and she was fine. She was really like,
yeah,
this bitch was bad.
yeah,
And I was nervous because I don't approach women.
Yeah.
And we walked out. He was like, man, bitch, stop being a bitch and go talk to her. I was like, fuck it. And I went back in that store. I was sweating like I was standing outside. I was hot. I was like, man,
because you never know what you're gonna get.
man. And she kind of played me. She was like, you work here? No, bitch, I don't know Urban
Yeah.
Outfitters. What? I was like, no, I don't work here. Can I have your number? And she told me no. I walked out of there so
You
shamed.
walk off saying like ugly bitch.
Nah, I've been a lie. She was fun. I don't remember what she looked like.
Men
I
don't
just know she
care,
was
like-
fun.
I remember the situation. I can't for the life of me. I can't remember what she looked like though.
She had to be either like Hispanic or mixed, or Latin and mixed.
That's probably why I don't remember.
If you don't know, he had a black wife. That's why he says that.
Oh man,
He likes the darker tone of women.
It's okay.
like
It's not the same.
Love.
Love. He married it. He married it.
I don't know. Y'all just reminded me of something. Like y'all think y'all have a type? Like, do you have a type of person that you're attracted to
Outside of my wife?
Get it
prior to your wife, Mr. Barnes? Prior to Mrs. Barnes, do you think that you have a type?
Just attractive, bro. Like, you know, what I would prefer is, of course, a small waistline. Yeah. That's just that.
Shallow
and
how?
pretty. Very. I'm so shallow. Now it don't make no sense, bro. Like I be on Instagram and like looking at like the models come up.
She cute,
She
but
pretty.
hold back
She got
on
nice,
her.
you know, small waist. Why your feet so long?
God,
Or
never showing my feet on camera. I knew me and Judge. I swear. I make sure it
or
was.
like,
We notice everything in a picture.
man, or I could be scrolling like, dang, she fine. Like she fully clothed. Scroll 2 more pictures down. You had work done. Unfollow.
Yeah.
That's me though.
Yeah.
That's me.
I don't got a problem with that.
That's me. I love a natural woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has to be pretty, a natural woman. Probably next after those two, like she could be skinny, she could be thick. all
We're just
that.
talking about
That's like-
physical attraction.
yeah, just that. But if her hair nappy, oh my god.
What is nappy?
What is it? 4C?
That is not nappy. Now I'm about to get on you because my daughter, I got show you. My daughter has 4C hair, and I would like you to know that 4C hair is some of the best hair ever because they get the most energy from the sun. So don't ever look
don't
at
even
no
know what that means,
4C
guys.
hair
You ain't gotta talk
and
to
call
me
it
about
nappy.
it. Come on, man.
I don't even
I'm
know what
all
y'all
I
talking
don't
about.
But
prefer.
it's-
You don't prefer all that energy within that? Okay.
I mean,
okay.
it's
I
just-
ain't gonna.
I don't even know what y'all talking
I ain't
about.
gonna go to
Don't
real
worry about it.
conversations.
It's too black for you right
It
now.
is.
Yeah, we
too
talking
much-
about
It definitely
4C and
is.
hair textures and coarseness.
Oh man,
Yeah,
no,
I don't like the coarser texture of hairs. It's just, but it's just more of a everything
Preference.
you said is right. It's more of an aesthetic thing for
Mm-hmm.
me. That's all it is.
up until like I don't know, 4 years ago, you couldn't pay me to say that I had a type.
Yeah.
But then I started looking, and I was like,
What's your type?
I might have a type. My wife.
Yeah. Good job. Good job.
Nah, I mean, like, I'm attracted to more natural than anything. Body wise, okay, natural or not, I really don't care. But like, just a pure natural face. If you naturally are pretty and don't need makeup, I don't care if you wear makeup or not. But if you don't need it, that's where I'm like, okay. And then people swear up and down that black is my type, but I'll never admit to that.
The proof is in the pudding, I guess. I think my type, I don't know if I necessarily have a type, but I know what I don't like. I think I go more so, not even go for it, but I can't date nobody that's too skinny because I feel like, I don't know, I like it could be a dad bod, it could be muscles, but it just has to be something that kind of give me that protected feeling. You know, like
fight. You can beat up a skinny dude.
I might can, but I don't want to find out. Like, I just don't want to even like. I don't know if I can hold that respect for him. God dang it.
I mean, he might be good from the shoulders if he's skinny. You never know.
I don't want to find out.
I'm not talking about for you.
Oh,
I'm saying he can still protect you, even though he's
I believe
skinny.
it. I don't have nothing against the skinnies. It's just like natural.
Skinnies.
The skinnies is funny.
I don't have nothing against them. I kind of prefer like a strong man, a man-looking man. Not saying that the skinny men don't look like a man, but I kind of like the, you know.
It's okay to have your own.
I kind of like that.
But like, how do you? Okay, let's say you're a woman, and you're trying to have a kid. Like, you got to throw your type out of the window, right? Like, if you're going the sperm donor route.
If you're going to a sperm donor.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's. This is another topic, by the way, so I'm going into this. It's a terrible transition, but fuck it, I'm going with it. But as a woman, like, do you think that a woman goes into a sperm bank blindly and just says, I'm gonna trust y'all. You tell me this is a 6'8" black man with an 8-pack, I'm gonna go with him. But in reality, that shit could be a white ginger 4'5". You know what I'm saying? Like, how
It depends on the goal. Like, you know, like some people that goes to like sperm banks, they want to almost portray it as this is a child that I can see with my loved ones, because sometimes it's the husband and the wife that both goes, and they're trying to get something that looks as close to their genetics as possible. Mm-hmm. But you talking about like for a single donor that just walks in and says,
yeah, I mean, I'm just in general. Like,
this is like build a baby. I'm going to get what I like. That's just.
I wonder if you got to pay premium prices for good genetics.
That's what I was going to ask too. I was going to ask that too, because like you said, what if you want somebody taller, that's fit, athletic, also nice smile, smart, you know, all these things, you know, but how do you know, like you said? And then do I got to pay like an extra $400 for this one?
Yeah. And but on top of that, like, you also don't know, like, to me, temperament is genetic. Like,
it is.
You know,
it very
like,
much
if
is.
If you got a short fuse,
like temperament,
your kids are probably gonna have a short fuse. Addiction, alcoholism. Like, to me,
that.
all of that comes with it. You don't know what you're getting out of that.
No, it's scary. Sure. That's very scary.
It's literally written into your DNA. Like.
Or you can like you're saying, like the donor cannot do any of those things, but he comes from a long line of serial killers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like bomb threats and shit like that. They could be wild, bro. He come from a wild family. He could be the quote unquote oddball out, which is he's just normal. Everybody else is in his family is weird. Hey man, it's like that.
Yeah.
How do you think your wife would feel if somebody asked you to be a sperm donor and you considered it?
If I considered it,
he just threw a whole bunch of
she ain't going
balls.
for it.
He said you considered it.
Hell no.
What if she understood, like, all right, this is a lesbian couple. You know, they need some help.
Hey, I just gotta put it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I gotta put it in the cup. That's all I gotta do. Like,
that's it. That's all you really got to do.
And they're gonna give you $5,000.
You get paid?
Let's remove the money part, because it does make it a little harder to say
if you're not getting
if
paid,
you'll do it or not.
You're just doing it because this is somebody that you know.
I'm not getting paid?
You're not getting paid.
But you're really close to them.
And you get to sow a seed for a baby.
And they're not asking you for
asking
anything.
how my wife's feeling or what I do?
Both. Start with your wife.
She not going for it. Mm-hmm. I just don't think she'll go for it, because knowing her, I'm hers now. So that means everything that comes with me and from me belongs to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a bad play on words. Comes. Anyway.
Okay, if you weren't married, do you think you would do it?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't do it. Because I need mine. Like, to know that this is my kid out here in this world. Nah, I can't do it, bro. Because I've even thought about it, like, when I was on harsher times, I was like, man, go to the sperm bank immediately. Hell no, bro, because
My shit's potent too. Man.
Yeah,
I
somebody
Yeah,
got
passing
this.
with your
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, bro. Like,
And then what if they mishandle your seed?
that,
Like,
or like I be hooping, I go out there and see a little young dude. Kind of look like me.
everybody look like
he
you
shoot
there.
like me too. Hey, boy, what's your name? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta walk. My son walk like me. I walk like my daddy. Like, is all this right here in us is like the same? Nah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Fuck no.
I don't know. I think the hard part for me would be because I have taken this stance of I'm gonna be there for my kids. That would be the hard part because it would depend on the situation. I mean, if they said, "Oh no, like we're gonna, make sure y'all are all in each other's life and yada yada yada," okay, that would be a little bit easier. But if they were like, "Hey, there's a contract and it says you don't need to do nothing with this kid. There's no child support. There's no this. There's no that." That's where in my head I'm like, well, I mean, that could be easy. I'm helping somebody out. I'm doing a good deed. I'm planting my seed. But at the same time, like I don't know if I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tough, man.
Yeah.
And not to mention how my wife would feel about it. You know what? I'm gonna go home today and ask my wife how she would feel about it. Like what I did there, huh?
Yeah, that's not even a conversation that we had. That's one of those quick no's. Like, what we got to talk about? Like,
I actually brought this topic up to my wife. It was just like, hey, what do you think about, people talking about sperm donors? She's like, oh, no, that's a good topic. But I never asked, like, well, what's your take on it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't had the nuts for it.
I don't think I could, like, I wouldn't allow it. That's one of those big words, allow in a relationship. I was like,
No, for real.
allow.
Allow.
Exactly. Now I'm about to do it.
You gotta submit.
You got to. Exactly. Somebody got to submit.
You're not allowed. That word just hurts. But I don't know. I don't think that mentally I'm capable of just allowing him to do it because I don't think of that. Like, I want to know it belongs to me now. Like, I don't want no woman carrying the seed of my husband. Like, no, I just can't. I can't do it. I'm just not mature enough, apparently.
Maturity is big in relationships.
It's very much so big. Relationships really can be so simple.
You know what's crazy is sometimes you think that you're mature in your relationship, and then there's a moment, and then you're just like, I'm not there yet. Like I still got to work on me a little bit. People don't talk about that. I ain't gonna go into detail about that, but like people don't talk about that going into relationships. Relationships are hard, man. I don't give a shit what nobody said. Yeah, like that shit is difficult.
Yeah, it's okay.
All these people that want them don't understand like what comes with them.
Yeah,
that shit just look good from the outside looking in.
It look easy to wear this ring, and it is. It's easy to put this bitch on.
Keeping it on and actually, that's one
making
of the
everything
things.
happen is where it gets tough.
I love it. I love it. Honestly,
That don't mean it's easy though.
No,
Just because
no,
you
no,
love
no,
it don't
no,
mean
no.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because there's just certain times it's like navigating the world, trying to do certain things for the family and your relationship. That's where it becomes more difficult for me. You know what I mean? Like, trying to get approvals on certain things, whether it's a house or a new apartment or a place to stay, or if you want to start a new business and shit like that. That's where, because you want to take your family with you, your relationship with you to the next level. And every time a door closes in your face, that's like, man, fuck. Then you just feel like there's more pressure being added. You feel like you run out of time. That part of it is, what I'm saying? That's what's more difficult for me. But as far as like the inner workings of it, nah, it's easy, bro.
Yeah.
For me, it is. For me,
It
everybody's
fits.
not the same. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when I say we mesh
Yeah.
very well, it
makes it easier being together than being apart.
It works very well from us down to the kids, even the kids that's not biologically mine. Like it all meshes very well. That's just me. I got a question. It's like pretty much impromptu question.
The submarine was navy blue. Go ahead.
How do y'all feel about like dudes that don't get in relationships with the women they like or marry the women that they like. If you need me to expound on that,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
like, okay, you can, you see dudes or they talk about dudes or dudes that's constantly, whether it's having sex with a woman or going out with the woman, having fun with them, drinking, kicking it, shit like that. But they don't do all those things with their wife. It's like they or their significant other. Like they don't enjoy those type of times with them. They enjoy those times with another woman, or they enjoy, the woman like the side chick. They enjoy the side chick more than they actually enjoy
I think
their
it's that.
wife or their significant other.
I think
Like,
it
why
goes
do you
back
feel
to
like
that.
dudes do that instead of just being with the side chick?
Let me tell you what I think.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to like that 80-20 thing that people talk about. Like, say for instance, and I'm saying this from a woman's perspective of what I feel like it is. Because like I dealt with a man and I was in a relationship with a man and I couldn't for like the life of me figure out like why he was finding like so much gratification outside of like the relationship. But when you tear down your house a lot of times and it becomes uncomfortable, like the person on the outside, that's the easiest thing. Like you don't have to fix nothing over there. Like especially if there's things to work on within your relationship, whether it be like an everyday thing, that it requires work. It requires you to maybe like do some hard things or cut pieces of yourself off or whatever. It requires some form of molding or discipline. And then you go to this woman that never has been hurt by you. She really doesn't know too many of your faults, or you don't have to argue with her at all. She's like a freaking slice of pie at the end of the day because you don't have to deal with no arguing, nothing. That's all she can ever be, But you'll always look at her like she's that light because at the end of the day, she's not the one receiving the hurt, the pain. She's not dealing with you. She's not having to like stay there. She's not working towards nothing with you. She's not fighting to build nothing with you. So it's always, the wife is not going to always be that fun thing to you or the greatest picture to you because she has to live with you. She has to live with you. And they say like the person that you're around every day, they have the most opportunity to make you mad, sad, unhappy, and everything in between. Yeah. You put too much pressure on this person to give you all your happiness and and this person comes along and she can sprinkle a little glitter. Here's something to make your life that your wife is making good for you a little bit better. But if your wife take all of this that she's doing for you and she snatches, that glitter don't feel like nothing. It's just hitting the empty plate. That's like putting salt and pepper on the plate. Yeah. That's it. Huh. That's my perspective. From a battered woman.
I think it's a lot easier to disconnect from your side chick. She makes you mad, you disappear. You see what I'm saying? You can't do that with your wife.
Right.
You got to come home to your wife every day. You got to work through that. So when dudes, let's say, are stepping out and doing what they do, I ain't one to judge. Do whatever you need to do. It makes sense to me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like you always have to like your wife. You gotta love her because that's why you in it. But there's gonna be times where you don't like her. She pisses you off. Y'all are upset with each other. You're not gonna like her for. I mean, it may not last that long, but there's gonna be times. So I don't know, man. I why do I think guys would rather be with their side chicks more? That's where it gets a little tricky because if you're every chance you get and you want to go out, you're not even considering going out with your wife, that's where I would challenge it. Like, all right, this doesn't really make sense.
And sometimes in a relationship, you have to just kind of build the scene that you want. Like, what is it that you don't like? Because at one point, you like something. Y'all got to the point to where y'all got married. So sometimes things change, things stop. Like, y'all can always get back to that point. The things that you're doing with the side chick, be it fun, maybe that's it. Maybe you just need to go have fun with your wife and like outside of the kids, outside of just getting back to just being y'all two. That's it. Outside of all the titles and all the jobs and roles y'all have, just that, that space to be y'all and not think too much.
Yeah, and I ask that because I really get along with mine.
Yeah.
Like it's hardly a dull moment from the time we both open our eyes.
Yeah.
We talking shit, we having fun, then we got all them damn kids running around. They make it more fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be annoying at times. Them twins are hell. But I really enjoy the time that I have with my wife. So that's why I ask, because I know it. Like you said, some people they don't like their significant other, whether it's they just dating, they boyfriend and girlfriend, or they married. Some people don't like them, but we like genuinely like each other.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And that's a blessing. Like that's such a good thing to have.
Like that's my dog.
That's good.
Like, for
like
real.
that's your friend.
Yeah.
That's just not your.
Like it's so cliche to say, like, but that's really like my best friend.
That is literally like exactly what you was supposed to find. You know,
I know I'd be pissing my wife off. I know there's times when my wife was like, "Get the fuck away from me."
Yeah.
All right, my bad. I fucked up. She don't like me all the time. I know that.
But you know, it's
No,
never
she
gonna
might,
be
but
like
it
that.
just-
Like nothing is really a fairy tale, and I think that's just the idea that like growing up, when you think of a relationship, you think like, especially when you grow up with parents that don't like argue in front of you or something like that. So when you don't really see people navigating through conflict, when you actually hitting it, it feels like you can find something better in the world. But anything that you get into is going to be those same things, same conversations, same conflicts, same road bumps, and you're going to have to navigate through it. Right. So just find somebody, a friend that you can navigate through that course with. It'll feel better.
Right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't judge nobody who does it. You need to step out. Step out. That's on you.
I'm such a, I don't know. I can't. I'm so opposed to like cheating. I'm so opposed to cheating. Like it hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings. I don't know a good reason. That's
no,
why,
I mean,
like, I just don't know a good reason to cheat.
The reason I say that is because I don't know what everybody goes through. So, you know, this time of my life, it's like everybody is gonna have a reason for whatever they're going through and how they navigate through it. I'm not one to judge. I mean, it is what it is. Just like, I don't know, you can be an alcoholic. I done been there, so it's like, all right, I get you need a drink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't drink anymore, but I'm not gonna judge you because you drink. You know, like it's everybody goes through what they go through. It's tricky though.
You gotta know what you're dealing with, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that aspect of it, but I'm also very opposed to it because it's like it brings about a lot of
Trauma.
Yeah, you know, it does.
It's hard to undo.
Yeah, it can be tough, you know. And some of them things, like, people don't need to go through some of that shit, bro. Like, it be difficult. You know, from what I heard, like, they go through a lot. You know what I mean? Some people can never recover from it. You know, like the people that have real life trust issues, it's because somebody's hurt them before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a woman that they call damaged. You know, one, that's a horrible title to put on somebody. Two, like, you don't know what she went through for her to be feeling this way, for you to be calling her damaged. You know, it could be a situation like mine where she could feel like they were best friends and everything was good, but she found out he was fucking one of her friends. So now she don't trust friends or men. You know what I mean? So now when people come, you know, they cross her the wrong way, she's going to explode, but she's still dealing with something from, you know, whether it was 6 months ago or 6 years ago. Yeah. So that's why I say I'm opposed to it, because like you just never know like what toll that that was gonna take on that person.
I don't know, and I think people just love differently and also disconnect differently too, because like say for instance how I say that like I can when I'm with somebody I genuinely cannot cheat. Like it'll make me feel awkward because they become my friend. So I feel like I'm stabbing my friend in the back. So I never kind of could actually imagine it. Like it always felt fake when somebody cheated to me because I was like, I couldn't imagine the person that's in front of me laughing and like, you doing that with somebody else? Like I can't even imagine. Like what? Like so it's like it kind of breaks down different foundations. In the sense of like it tears down the trust, it tears down the respect. Now when you go to work, I know you at work, I know that's where you normally act, but in my mind, like how did you even find the time to do that? So now I'm trying to calculate when you even it causes too much mental battles. Like it's not even worth it.
Right.
Understanding a cheater is very difficult because there's multiple reasons why people cheat. Like Ken said, they don't like their partner is one. 2, there's some trauma that, okay, I would rather do this before it gets done to me. 3, you have addicts that are not only addicted to anything else, but they might be addicted to the chase. They might be addicted to different women, addicted to sex, whatever it is. So that's why I always say I'll never judge anybody for what they do and how they process through things, because everybody has to process different, which leads me into my next topic. I want to talk about how people are so hard on the way that people grieve. There is one thing that I wanted to touch on in the DC Young Fly and Azalea Banks thing, but I also want to dig deeper into like how everybody is killing Azalea Banks on what she said. Yeah. But if you really take a step back, like in talking through all this other stuff, it's like, well, we don't know how she dealt with getting embarrassed either. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, what she said is crazy. Like it
what she said, it shows the extent of her hurt, really. Yeah. It spoke volume on it wasn't right at all.
Right.
But it was very clear that in that moment she was trying to touch him in a hurt spot. Like she was trying to trigger him. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she took it that low showed that she thought that she was passing that hurt to him. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you remember when you said this to me and the world looked at me and laughed at me? Okay, well now that you're crying and you're hurt, let me jab it. Yeah. You know, and had he responded to that, it would have gave her all the gratification that she needed in that moment. Yeah. You know, but she was literally just wanting to pass that pain. She got hurt. She felt like her album, sales didn't take off the way she wanted to because of that embarrassment. Mm-hmm. But it probably would have been like that regardless. However, she linked that to that, you know? So that was her get back.
I just want to first say, I didn't even know she rapped. I
didn't know she rapped neither. I've never, not to say anything about her.
This week,
I seen her on Wild and Out. That was the first time
I didn't even know she did music. So
I knew she did music, but you know how I found out she did music is through Joe Budden podcast.
Exactly, that's when I found out too. Like last week.
What song she made?
I don't know. Mm-hmm. We just found out listening to Joe Budden's podcast,
and she cooked cats or something like that. She boils cats.
They say she's really talented.
Yeah,
she didn't get no spins on my car, so I don't know.
Yeah, she might be, but she. Hey.
She posted some nice pictures before.
I don't even follow her. I don't know. I have no clue what goes on with this lady.
Got them sweater puppies.
All right. Anyway, I do agree that was her chance. She found a chink in DC's armor, a little bit of vulnerability, so she took the chance. You know.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Finally, this is, she felt like this is my get back. Very distasteful, very wrong. She shouldn't have did that, because what she went through and Wild and Out did not is no equivalent to him losing
whatsoever
girlfriend, fiance, baby mama, whatever it is. That person in his life, is no equal value in that. But I think that regardless of how she felt on that show or when she left that show, it's still not justified.
Right.
But regardless of how she grieved, because at the end of the day, she had to agree to go on there.
Very much so. And then the type of platform.
You know what that show brings. You know the platform it is. You know the audience that it reaches out to. You know it's a largely syndicated show. So, and DC is an idiot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you should expect, to get hit with the worst of jabs when you go on that show. You know what I mean? Especially if you ain't, dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she could have been, dealing with it all this time, but at the end of the day, you asked for it. I'm not going to, like a pit bull huddle with a bunch of dogs and they fighting over a piece of meat and sticking my hand in there, expecting not to get bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's the outcome. You expect to get talked about when you go on that show.
Exactly.
Right? Regardless of who you are. Hell, Nick is the owner, and he gets talked about every episode, 3 to 4 times each episode.
See, and that show wasn't made for her. She was going to take things so personal.
It wasn't for her.
Those same people that talk about each other on that show, they laugh, they shake hands, and it be that.
They go home at the end of the day.
She messing up business, really. Because it could have been just,
I mean, if she was really, never mind.
I'm saying she messed up business for her own self. Had she went on the show,
that's what I was gonna say.
It would have just been she went on the show.
If she made really it a talented artist, like they say, she could have, turned that to better publicity.
Nobody would have even posted it on any blogs or anything had she not reacted to the things that they already do, which is talk about people. But the fact that she got so offended by it, she made it a moment. So she caused that. She don't realize that.
Right.
She blames him for that trauma that she had, but
that's
she
all
made
on
it
her.
a moment.
That's all on her.
She made it a moment. That's it. Like, why go on a show that like does all this and then you want to? Oh, he called me. Of course, he was probably supposed to call you worse. He just didn't think of it. Like,
And so, what is y'all's take on people's reaction to DC speaking at the funeral? Right, like the way that he was able to get through that. People are. I mean, and I see mixed reviews on, oh, he should be feeling this way. I don't see how you can do that, or why is he able to get through this so effortlessly? Like, what is your take on the way that he was processing through that moment, I guess?
I mean, I don't know DC personally, but I know like the walk of life that he comes from. I'm sure this isn't far from the first death he's ever seen in his life. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's seen a multitude of people die and coming from, his background.
Right.
So he could be used to death, as bad as that sounds. No, it's not the mother of his children, but once you start getting accustomed to that type of pain, it gets easy to deal with. Mm-hmm. It's just human nature. You know what I mean? Secondly, he has to be strong. He has to be. He has, 4 kids to look after now? Mm-hmm. 3 girls and, I believe, a little boy, if I'm not mistaken, I think.
I'm not sure.
Well, and regardless of how many kids it is, there's kids involved.
You know what I mean? And who's to say he's not dealing with it outside of what was recorded at a funeral? To me, honestly, why the hell are you recording at a funeral anyway?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That should have never reached the public.
Yeah, it should always been like a private thing.
Exactly.
But it's such a pressure, I guess, for them to put people in the mix.
And everything wants to be socialized or put out in the public eye. No, it don't need to be no cameras. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
But I don't even think there's like an actual proper way to grieve. Like everyone has like such an opinion of, I feel like he's supposed to be. These are coming from people that hadn't even experienced losing a significant other. You know, because like he's still allowed to smile. Mm-hmm. He's still allowed to like wake up and just want to have a regular life. He doesn't have to always live in this crying, grieving thing.
That man could have. I don't know this for sure. He could have been like drunk 2 bottles of Hennessy before he went there. He could have been high. He could have been anything to help him get through that funeral. Mm-hmm.
That's
as soon as they left, or as soon as they got into the limo, he could have been there bawling his eyes out. Yep. Yeah. We don't know.
Or his children could have been in the front row. He don't want them to cry, so he's
exactly. He don't want them to see.
I mean, again, everybody's gonna process through things different, and I this is also my take on old dude that what was the billionaire's son from the submarine or something like that. Whether it's son, stepson, whatever it is, right? Like they killing him on social media because the day after he's posting a picture at a Blink-182 concert, they talking about, he's talking to all these OnlyFans on Twitter, like all OnlyFans chicks on Twitter. Bro, y'all don't know how he's processing through none of that.
He said, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, like what? And on top of that, me included, but everybody's joking about the shit because, and it's all over social media. So it's like maybe fam needed to get away for a little bit, And to go even further, we don't know the relationship that they had.
Yeah.
So it's like you can never, from the outside, man, I will never, even if I know you, I will never sit here and try to tell you how you're supposed to grieve through something, how you're supposed to process through something. The only thing I can do if I know you is allow you some space if you need it and allow you an ear if you need me to listen. That's it.
Exactly.
I mean, I can give you some advice here and there, but even that, like, you ain't got to listen to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can only give you what I can and understand, like, okay, you're going to go through it. You're going to go through and deal whatever you need to deal with.
For sure.
I ain't nobody to sit here and I don't know how to grieve. Like I don't know the right way to do things. My way of dealing with issues 2 years ago was open a bottle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And back then it made sense. Today it's like, nah, I know that ain't the way to do things now. So depending on what part of your life you're in, what you're dealing with every day, what, is around you, everybody's going to deal with grief a little bit different, process through emotions different. I'm nobody to sit here and tell you which way is right or wrong.
Right.
You know, the only thing I can say is like I've been watching Dragon Ball Z a little bit, and I have a really solid take on Dragon Ball Z. And maybe I have been watching like the dub version that was fan generated, so they're changing some words up here and there. But I was watching this episode where, and correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anything that I'm saying is wrong here, but there's one universe fighting another universe. Okay.
Keep going.
Then there's an episode where Vegeta is fighting a Saiyan from another universe, and that Saiyan doesn't know how to go Super Saiyan just yet.
So yeah,
This is all foreign language to
Okay.
me.
Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, so whatever it is, but he says something, and he's like, "You're not at your most powerful level just yet." And the other guy is like, "Well, teach me." In the middle of a fight, the dude starts whooping his ass, beating him up, this and that, telling him that he's going to kill his kids or family, blah, 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 blah. And he gets to the point where he gets so upset that, boom, he goes Super Saiyan, right? And that's what got me to thinking, like, this is how men deal with things every day. We use our anger to become our strongest. And I think when you're able to unlock that point of your life is where things change. And I feel like that's where I am today.
And when you say the anger, are you saying like that trauma or
All-
whatever that
everything.
hurts, it catapults?
You learn how to use it as energy. You learn how to use it as
I think
motivation,
anybody
drive.
that has to be
Yeah.
strong, that strong comes from that trauma catapulting to that point. But you know, I tell everybody, like even when you're going through something, like you have never actually gone through something and not look back at it in a place that you were stronger, wiser, smarter, something. So it's like power if you can actually see it in that moment, like. Actually be going through stuff and know in your mind that this is doing something to you right now. Know that like it's molding you in some kind of way, but it's always for the better. Like
Yeah.
you're never gonna look back on it. It's gonna be a lesson, something.
So, and one of the things that he told him was remember that feeling.
Yeah.
Because that's how you'll be able to continue to get stronger. And that's where it was like, I've been processing this for like the last 2-3 weeks. I mentioned it to y'all. But today I'm like, I've been through rock bottom. I didn't hit rock bottom already.
Yeah.
And I got out that motherfucker. And can't nobody stop me from doing whatever I want to do next. I know what it's like to be uncomfortable. I know what it's like to be out of character. I know what it's like to have to come out of that dark space. Bro, can't nobody stop me now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel today. And it's scary because I don't know what it's going to lead to. But that fear is also what is continuing to drive. Now I figured out I know how to use my hurt, my fear, my anxiety, being uncomfortable, whatever it is. I'm finna use all that shit, and that's how I'm finna build this. Whatever it's gonna be, that's what's gonna come with it.
Right.
And for everybody that's around me, be ready.
Yeah.
Like because it ain't gonna stop.
Right.
You know, we about to blow up. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
So it's been episode 23. Anything from you, Miss Briana, before we go? You want to plug anything? All your socials, whatever you want to plug, will be in the description. Whatever you want, go for it.
Y'all can check out my first published book. I have a How to Leave a Narcissist book for the ladies. It's nothing bitter. It's a healing journal in a workbook. And you can find it on Amazon. And there's also a copy available on Etsy for your iPad. So check me out.
Nice. Cool. All right. I've been Dennis.
Ken.
Briana.
We out.
Here's the thing, it's just us.